events because of that. If you wishlist the game, they will be happy. Maybe even more sponsors to come in the future. So do check that out. That is !space deals in the Twitch chat if you want to go and wishlist that. And like I say, another easy, free way to support from your guys' point of view. As we have got in the bottom right side of this fresh best of 3 here in the WardiTV October Group A. In the bottom right, our Blue Protoss now 0-1 in the group, actually. It is going to be ShoWTimE. We really felt like this was going to be a 1-0 versus 1-0 matchup, but actually ShoWTimE 0-1. Rogue 1-0. Rogue's in the top left as our red Zerg. He beat Hearthstone. ShoWTimE lost to Hearthstone. And that's where we sit right now. Wow. Hatcher coming up. Drone on the way. Gateway and Assimilator continue to come through as well. We could get all of that on the way up here currently. So bringing that through. And getting that on the line. Hatch Custom Pool all coming up then. A couple of drones on the way. Gateway and the Nexus coming up as well. This is going to be seen. Extractor pops. How do they know the wishlist came from Wardy's channel? I mean, they don't necessarily, but if they see that while we are streaming that their wishlist numbers are going up a little bit more than usual, then they probably see that it's a little bit more of a worthwhile sponsorship than before. Look, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say like wishlist and it's going to change the world or it's going to give us even more support in the future, but it's the one thing you can do that can maybe create some more support. That's super easy and free to do, right? So why not? Yeah, sometimes we have like tracking links and stuff that track specifically from our stream. This time it's not the case, but like I say, I mean, they are genuinely, sponsoring the stream. We will do what we can to help them out. They are helping us out. Good to help, help people out, They help us, we help them. This is live, right? Yep. Completely live today. Every match is live as well. No replay games. It is a go, go, go kind of day. As our couple of lings are going to just nibble onto the probe already. Link speed coming up. Couple of queens on the way. Stargater's already building on the side of ShoWTimE. So bringing that through. The Adept is about to finish. The Warp Gate coming in. The Adept continues up as we get settled here in this game 1. I mean, just following this probe around, but that's usually the excitement of the early game. PvZ, to be honest. Not much else happening just yet. And Oracle moving about. Warpgate is coming through. Adept in production as well. Again, a couple of queens and the drones will continue to come about. Once again, our Adept's just going to be chilling on the natural. Link speed will be finishing in a moment or two. The queens are building up. The drones are still on the way. Oracle will come across to the top left-hand side. Going to move into the main base. A few drones are going to be moving up into this main base as well. Queens are going to activate. Drone's going to become a spore crawler. The other drone's taking damage also. Getting chased around a little bit. Going to come back through. Oracle going to die. Not exactly pretty for ShoWTimE, losing the Oracle straight away. This is a West server game. ShoWTimE will get server preference over Bjorn, so they'll play Central West Central against Bjorn, but he has to play West Central West here against Rogue in this group. And not necessarily saying that, that ping difference necessarily lost in that Oracle. Maybe this was just too greedy anyways, but it's obviously something to keep in your mind. I know some people will be interested in that as well. As that Oracle escapes up to the upper left-hand corner, and it's just going to sit there for a few moments, so it's just going to hang around. Again, Twilight Council, Forge, Nexus, a couple more probes, all building on the ShoWTimE side of things as well. Those Adepts are already moving up toward the upper left-hand side of the map. So as our upgrades and our structures continue through, ShoWTimE looking to apply some pressure here. I mean, the Queens probably going to be good enough to more or less just hold these Adepts off. They can threaten the Shade. Are they going to commit the Shade? Yes, they are. Not a lot here in this natural expansion. Those Lings will not last very long at all. A couple of Lings left, Adepts left to go and deal with the Lings, while the other Adepts deal with the drones. I like that little split and how he kind of split the workload here. And the Adepts that are left alive will go to the main base, and then we'll get a few more drones as well. 2 Adepts remaining is enough to one-shot, but we're out of reach. One of those Adepts getting blocked. There'll be another low HP drone there. He doesn't hit that one, though, unfortunately. So that's going to be 5 drones total killed off here by ShoWTimE. Not the best. Very far from the worst. I think is a pretty fair way to say that. Oracle activates, a few links taking some shots, taking some big damage. Oracle just going to activate. Stasis is going to get a catch on a drone already. +1 missiles is on the way. The extra overlords are building. Hatchery coming about currently. There's going to be a Hydra's Den and the infestation pit building on the side of Rogue, so we get both of those on the way. Also, 4 additional zealots building up from ShoWTimE, charging +1, coming through too. And Temple Archives on the way from ShoWTimE. So Temple Archives about to finish. Stasis is going to catch. Queen and the drone going to get caught in that. Oracle moves back out. The infestation pit is about to be done. Again, our Hydras, +1 missiles. The muscular augments continuing by. The couple of Archons continue up as well. Archons coming around that left side. Just going to see the Oracles activating. A couple of Lings already going down. So a lot of Lings actually going down. Rogue just on his way to that Lurker Den and that Hive. Obviously, he had some okay games against Hearthstone earlier, but it definitely wasn't clear, plain sailing for Rogue. Just trying to focus on a lot of early aggression. As this Immortal gets caught, the Oracle turned away from saving it as well. If that Oracle had been there that entire time, that Immortal would have lived. So that's just a double misplay from ShoWTimE. First he lets the Immortal wander forwards, then he pulls the Oracle away when it should have protected. Now just coming across the map again. Lurker Den is going to be on the way fairly soon. I see a Prism coming around the right, so it's moving over. Just gonna see our units continue to move about, see what we can do. I mean, units so far looking good defensively. Let's see how Archons, our Zealots continue to come about here. Prism around the top again. Hydras, Lanes all coming up. The Muscle Augments, the Size Expands, +2 missiles, and Drill Glands continue to come about as we just have ourselves chilling on the top. Zealots up over there, just going to move about, trying to see what they can do. There's honestly not too much just yet. The defense is looking good for Rogue. This game going to keep on moving to that later stage. ShoWTimE's adding a Phoenix. Wondering if he's going to go for a few of those, or if he just wants the one to go and hunt down nearby Overlords, etc. Just in case of Nidus isn't so, just trying to, be on top of that straight away. Hydra continues to move across the map. High Templars will gather. Again, the Archons, the Robo Facility, +1 air weapons coming up. Stargate and the Fleet Beacon coming in as well. The Phoenix will continue to hit that Overseer right now. The Lings jump into that group of Zealots. The Zealots will drop as well. Nidus Network will now come up. And Overseer overhead will go down also. Again, +1 air weapons, couple of mortals, and all of those Zealots on the way in from ShoWTimE. Very Zealot heavy, actually. Again, a lot of Zealots in play, but the counterattacks and the wraparounds you can create with those are obviously very viable and very potent, so definitely expect that to be a factor as those Zealots get caught in a storm. It's going to go shooting. The Overlord still taking shots again. +3 attack. +1 air weapons coming through. The Immortal and the Observer coming around. Nexus still on the way in as well. Let's see how Lurkers are going to unburrow the couple of force fields coming down. Gonna move up this ramp. Couple of Zealots going to get shot at. Guardian Shield is just going to sit there. We are going to see our Tempest still coming through. The Zealots continue to come about. Cannons on the way. The Zealots are going to go jumping onto this Nidus here in this main. That's going to finish up though. And Lurker's going to pop out. Only 3 of them. That would be manageable if we had detection. There's the Revelation coming down. So this might not be so bad. Oh, choked up a little bit. Though, was the cannon. We'll clean up the Lurker. Oh, the Nidus, sorry, on the low ground. This first bit of aggression is going to get turned away there. See another storm coming about. Zealot's still moving through. Tempest still up in the skies. Obviously have more of those coming about as we get ready to go. Ourselves, the Lings and Lurkers continue to move about here currently. So many Lurkers burrowed up on his right side. It's going to be the position you got to be very careful of. The ShoWTimE, you don't want to just let Rogue wander into position with those Lurkers on the top. There's going to be a group of Zealots that come charging forward. Stack defense here, not ready to go, so the Zealots actually going to do very well. Hydra's going to show up as a defense. We're actually going to be able to trade for a couple of these Hydras. These Zealots have done great. They're going to get like 4 or 5 Hydras, as well as all that stack defense. That was an amazing run by. Obviously, ruined momentum on this other side as well. You see now units coming over, just gonna see a couple drones taking damage. We see now Archons continue to come about, just moving around a little bit, +2 air weapons coming in as well. Things are gonna jump onto that Nexus. Hydras and Lurkers continue to come through. So yeah, a couple of shots coming through for the moment. These Zealots get caught in the stasis. Just gonna be seeing a couple extra cryptids coming through. The Lurker Den coming into play as well. We continue to get that settled in here. More shots continue to come through. A few more hits coming about. We've seen those Lurkers continue to come through, just going to continue to fire. Let's see our Storm coming out, again another shot coming through. Just going to be seeing the Archons continue to come in. Gonna step forwards here. You're gonna be seeing the Immortals stepping up. A lot of those lurkers going down. That's a massive fight for ShoWTimE. Knocks down so much of the tech available here, so that is huge. Tempest still firing. Just gonna be seeing the Corruptors and the Overseers continue to come around. Corruptors still coming about again. The lurkers coming in. Lurkers are gonna burrow, hitting the cannon right away there. Let's see those lurkers still hitting. Next is still taking some shots. Now going to see the rest of that army coming through. The Corruptors are going to caustic spray down a Cybercore and now a Robo Facility as well, but they actually end up stepping away. That's a lot of Corruptors. ShoWTimE, what he's doing is obviously switching fully into the ground. Hearthstone never really got to that point where he's able to fully switch into the ground against Rogue. We do have another couple of lurker shots just coming about. Archons and Mortals continue to move through. Again, Mortal Archon continue to come around for a couple of moments here, getting set up. We having ourselves the Mortal Archon continue to come across. Gonna have ourselves the Nidus Network coming online again. The Changelings gonna come stepping forward. We are gonna see a little Time Wolf coming through. The Stalkers and the Zealots will step up. As the Stalkers will take some damage. Just gonna have ourselves the Immortals gonna get there though. These Lurkers will go down. So that is gonna be a cleanup. So many Lurkers in the main base of that. Knight just goes up again. So ShoWTimE going to be struggling there. It was not as bad last time. He got it under control. This time he's going to lose a lot of his production and just infrastructure in general. So these Lurkers are making a big play. He's going to show up here just as those Lurkers finish morphing. They're going to start a burrow. ShoWTimE will step to the left side instead. Stalkers and Mortals continue to fight. Splines and the Spores coming about as well. Archons continue to come through. Nidus Network's going down. Ship continue to fight. Nidus taking some hits. Looks like just going to be firing, just going to be hitting the Nidus, the Nexus there for a couple of moments. Cannon going to fire up as well. A few more shots continue to come about. So look at ourselves, Immortals and Archons coming around there. The Lurkers stay set up for the moment. Seeing a few probes going down. The Lurk is still going to be there. A few changelings went down in the center as well. Just having ourselves the Lurkers going to step up. Zealot's going to get turned away. The Immortals as well. Just going to be seeing the Fleet Beacon coming through. That Templar Archive still on the way out as well. Is going to unburrow. We head down to the bottom side. The big one coming up. Just going to see a storm coming through. These immortals are going to get active also. Just going to fire it up. Just going to see ourselves. The High Templars, the Archons continue to move through as well. A little storm coming out on towards the lurkers, so a bit of damage there. Rogue still pressing down to the south side of the map, hitting this 6 o'clock. And those couple of lurkers just going to fire. The Archons taking damage. More shots coming through. As I'll continue to come around, just going to get moving for a couple of moments here. Having ourselves the Archons and the rest continue to come over for the moment, stepping around a little bit. Just going to fire the assimilator and the probe, taking damage as well. Still firing the fleet beacon. It's going to go down, so just going to get that grabbed. It's going to have ourselves. Well, that is obviously being a big issue. I mean, ShoWTimE losing a lot of probes now from that gold-based long distancing. He needs to figure out how to get rid of these lurkers. I mean, obviously, we look at his army comp, and he's got a few Tempests, but he needs to do it a little bit more quickly. Archon's going to be there. A few Hydra's going to go jump onto the Nexus. Pylon is going to get taken out as well. So maybe seeing the Nidus coming through. A couple lurkers continue to hit. Robo Facility continuing down. Taking some damage. I'm just going to step up. The Archons and the High Templars coming forward. Lurker's going to step forward there as well. These Immortals are going to come in from the bottom right-hand side. Archons, Immortals, Tempests. Going to fight these Lurkers. The Lurkers are going to go down before the Corruptive Viper shows up. The feedbacks on the Vipers are perfect as well. Rogue loses those quickly. He might knock down the Tempest, but ShoWTimE, he got rid of the Lurkers and now doesn't have to worry so much about not having Tempests. Pull back into the center. Let's get up to that upper right-hand side. Going to try and move through for a couple of moments. We've seen a few Lings going to go whacking away. Storm comes out, the Archons and the Tempest coming through, Robo Facility and the batteries continue up. I mean, Ling's in the main base. ShoWTimE is going to be pretty much put down to one final army, which I don't think is going to be amazing for him. I think that's actually going to net him a whole bunch of trouble, actually. Tempest still coming in. The Lurkers and the Lings continue to produce. 5 Spine Crawlers building up. A couple hatches on the way through as well. Continue to get that going as we just have an army of Rogue heading down to the bottom right still. So we just get that on the way. Solid Archon going to come up as well. Ship unfortunately going to get caught. Like I say, ShoWTimE, he's got a massive army in the upper right, and it's going to probably be just down to straight up that army to get the job done on this as we begin to step on forward and move on up. So in we go. It's going to activate. Spore Crawler goes down. The Lurkers are going to get jumped on. It's going to be seeing a couple of High Templars warped in again. A couple more Tempests on the way. I love the constant counterattacks from Rogue. It's perfect for the situation. ShoWTimE can't really stretch down to defend over here, and yet he kind of needs to because that's where his infrastructure is. So losing that is rough for him. He's on his way down to try and deal with all those Lings. Oh no, the High Templars! No! 2, 3, 4 go down to the Lurkers. Beautiful burrow there, and Rogue is going to grab a bunch of those. That's painful for ShoWTimE. We're talking about how he's in need of kind of making it work with this army and limited reinforcements, and obviously losing 4 High Templars that are full of energy as well is a massive pain in the butt. Let's have ourselves a look. He's going to step forward here, just going to be moving up. Nexus will take damage. The pylon going to go down. The space will be lost. ShoWTimE's going to try and dive the bottom left. I think he liked this base originally because it gave him a chance to hit the 12 o'clock base of his opponent. Now he's going to dive the bottom left-hand side instead. Oh, the Immortals are kind of on their own, so they're going to be taking losses to the Lings and the Hydras. Again, the few extra voids continue to come by. As the Tempest going to turn as well. The Overseer's getting hit. Going to recall the Tempest out away from the Corruptors. We're just going to kite away. I mean, the thing is, I think ShoWTimE's ground army is phenomenal against the majority of what Rogue is working with, unless he struggles to deal with a group of Lurkers. Which might be the case if he loses these Immortals, a group of units up here. I mean, this is actually a wild play from ShoWTimE. Split up like this is a huge opportunity for Rogue to maybe just make a play. Rogue's going to try and burrow up right now. ShoWTimE kites up his ramp, doing what he can. Needs to turn around, get rid of some of those Lings. The Changelings block a couple of the Archons from kiting backward, and that means that ShoWTimE is going to take some additional losses there as Rogue. 14 new Hydras on the way is still almost maxed out, as we've been going for pretty much 30 minutes here on Golden Aura. Archon Immortal High Templar comes through. The Lings continue to drop, and this is looking as though we are going to have ourselves ShoWTimE in too much trouble. Fantastic effort from these two. ShoWTimE, these are the kind of games he usually does so well in, but it goes to show that Rogue is feeling pretty okay about his PvZ at the moment. Let's just have our Immortals and the Archon continue across. The Hydra's still getting jumped on. And the Overseer's overhead. There's the GG, and that is going to be Rogie taking game number 1 of this best of 3 series. Rogue is going up left. Our Blue Zerg up a game is going to be our... I just said he's our Blue Zerg already. I don't know what else he is. I guess he's our leader of this series. Rogue in the upper left is in the bottom right. The red Protoss player is ShoWTimE. Game 2. ShoWTimE needing to try and bounce back here. So game number 2, I'm going to go in here on side Delta. Get into game 2, we get this settled in, figure out what our plan is going to be, as our first probe is already scouting around. ShoWTimE definitely showing us he can give us some good games. As our drone will continue to chase, probe is going to take some damage. Drone chasers probe into the base. Gonna see what's going on. The drone's gonna go. Probe gonna get chased. Have you seen the link speed? A couple of queens. The links will continue to come up. And link speed halfway done. Hatch coming up. Few Ling's Queen coming through. The Stargate building on the side of ShoWTimE. The Adept and the Warp Gate continuing up as well. So bringing this in for the moment. The Ling's going to be there. The probe's going to get changed around. And now battery coming up on the side of ShoWTimE. As the couple links continue to get active. Going to see those links going to get back over onto the Adepts. Adepts taking a few nibbles. Going to sit out in the center. Link speed coming through. The drones on the way. And those links continue to nibble up onto the mineral line here, hitting some of those probes for the moment. And the battery going to settle down for a moment or two. So yeah, probes taking some shots, a couple nibbles come through. Again, drones, queens on the way up. The spores continue to build also. Then Ling's is going to go after a set of rocks. So again, looking to open that up. Try and close that out. Again, the Oracle coming about here. Warp Gate coming through. The Oracle continues to come up into production as well. So getting all of that underway. Queen's going to get there as well. Still Oracle's up to the top, moving around again, getting settled here. And diving towards the main base. ShoWTimE for looking for some damage in the early stages. Gates, Forge and Twilight continue to come into play, get that on the way up. That's going to be there, continue to fight against some of those Lings. Oracle will continue to sit up in the skies as these Adepts will go for quite a few of the Lings initially. Stasis Ward is only going to catch the ones. Good micro from Rogue as those Adepts are not going to find the mineral line outside of Trade Mythos Zerglings, right? So, only got a couple of drones in the end. I mean, overall though, 5 Adepts go down, but 9 Lings. 8 drones. Overall in the game, the trades are good for ShoWTimE. I mean, these Adepts keeping things busy, keeping the Lings busy too. As you will see, the Oracle's able to capitalize on a couple more drones as they leave. Nicely done. Well, Lings is going to go in after the probes. A bit more damage being dealt. The Stalker's going to take some shots also. A few more of those probes getting chased away as the Lings come through, killing off the Stalker right there. Stalker goes down. And Oracle chases the Lings back out over that right-hand side. There's that +1 missiles. Approach speed, all coming up. And +1 blink continue to come through. It's set for the moment. Oracle's going to sit up at the top. I'm just going to move around a little bit there. Oracle's going back around the top side again. Storm coming in, +1 attack on the way up. The High Templars are going to be there to fight against a few Lings as well. It's going to be seeing those Lings taking quite a bit of damage. The Oracle's going to dive through. Bunch of those drones already taking shots. And Zeld High Templar just going to fight against those Lings, pushing it back as well. As the Oracle going down, Queens continue to move about as well. As the Oracle activating, a couple of drones already going down. Queens gathering, a couple of Queens up to the top. Let's see how Lings and Roaches and Ravages are going to step up. We're going to be seeing a couple of these units going to move through. Swarm Hosts are out, and the Swarm Host Locusts are going to drop straight in to this mineral line. Is ShoWTimE going to take some losses. High Templars going to move through. The Zeld Stalker and is going to be there to fight. I mean, honestly, decent first wave of Locusts for ShoWTimE in terms of, like, they didn't do so much that you're in a lot of trouble here or anything. It seems pretty reasonable. We do have the Hydralisk then coming up as well. So Rogue looking for a future, but we'll obviously keep the pressure up with the Swarm Host for the foreseeable future as well. Expect that to continue to be a factor as +2 attack and charge continue in. The Revelation goes down on the Roach Ravager. The Queens are going to step up and poke away at those Oracles too. And +2 attack and charge coming in. The Locusts are going to come once more. Let's see what ShoWTimE can do against them. Good Storm initially. Great double Storm is going to kill a lot of those Locusts to begin with. And all you're looking for here is a Stasis Ward as well. Okay, completely negates the Locusts. That's perfect, because what the Locusts aim to do is to basically give the Roach Ravager free time to attack. What happens in this case is that the Roach Ravager is actually having to trade, so you're actually losing Roach Ravager while fighting in. Usually you don't, because the Locusts are tanking all of that damage. Things still trying to come around the side. The Zealots moving about as well. And we have ourselves the Adrenal Clans coming through, +2 missiles, and a Crew Splines coming up also. All of that coming into play as the Oracle continues to set up a Stasis Ward, bringing that in right now. Let's just have a Revelation going down too. As Locusts continue up, just going to have ourselves a little Stasis catching the Roach Ravager there. Stalker Archon going to try and fight back. A few of those Locusts continue to drop. Corrosive Vials will continue into play. And we have got ourselves Rogue still trying to press in, but I mean, this is what happens when you're playing against Swarm Host. You're kind of on the back foot all of the time. You're constantly taking some damage. But it's about holding on and training as effectively as you can. Big thing here for ShoWTimE is definitely the fact that he's on the 4th base. Does lose an Oracle there, takes some shots. Some of the Corrosive Vials in general have been pretty good for Rogue. They've been landing a lot of the time. And definitely putting ShoWTimE into a tougher position than you might expect in a lot of these scenarios. And the Locust once again, ShoWTimE will try and force a few of them to drop in early. Remember that those Storms are going to be essential against these Locusts. We try and drop them onto the Locust immediately. Archon is big to splash those Locusts down after. And the Super Battery activating, Stalker's blinking up. We are going to have ourselves a few units chased back into the middle of the map as our Seismic Spines continues into play. Muscular Augments is producing. And ShoWTimE can take another step forward here as we make our way into the creep. And again, as long as the Swarm Host on cooldown, he's going to feel fairly confident to trade, because trading with the Roach Ravager without Locust in front is generally going to be a good thing for our Protoss player here across the course of this game. Focus is going to come in once again here. Just going to have ourselves a little drop down onto this Nexus. Just going to go and jump onto that. The Immortals are going to gather up. Again, Roach, Ravager, Hydra Lurker coming through as well. Stalker's still coming over. Stargate and the Fleet Beacon coming online. +3 attack and +1 air weapons coming through. The Immortals are going to fire. Roaches get turned back around just for now as well. And Roach Hydra Ravager steps up again. A couple of Immortals going to be hanging back. A little shot there. Going to hit some Roaches. Oh, that base actually goes down. Nice to see the Locust changing direction of attack. And ShoWTimE actually losing a base. Something Rogue has not really gained so far. Like I said, sitting on the 4 bases felt like one of the big reasons why this was all going to be okay for ShoWTimE so far. Resources lost was kind of even. So, yeah, now we're actually going to see, though, ShoWTimE making a play to kind of just clean up this army. He's going to blink forward to try and trap in some of this Roach Ravager. Hit the rocks there for a second is a shame. But he is charging through. Just has to be careful that the Swarm Hose aren't going to show up and ruin his push. One reason to definitely slow this down and to start being a little bit more careful once again. So Stalker coming about. Stalker's just going to go nibbling at the Overlord overhead as well. Solid on the right hand side also getting set here as the Tempest sets up. Again, the +1 air weapons, the +3 ground attack, all coming through. The army of ShoWTimE now works its way down to the bottom. Star's going to step forwards here. The Hydras are going to be there. A couple of Zards begin to drop. We have a couple of Tempests still building through. A few more Zards on the way. The cannons are producing. Now, Lurkers are going to fight. The panel and the cannons still taking shots there as the Zards continue forward. Almost going to fire. Hatcher already taking a lot of shots. Is going to go down. Lurkers are going to come around here. We're going to storm a lot of the Lurkers to begin with. High Tempers get a couple more storms off. It's good for softening them up, but does it give you a chance to actually attack in? So far, the answer to that is not really. We are defending against future harassment on that right-hand side as Rogue already lost a base here. The question will be, can ShoWTimE get down this ramp and continue this attack, or is this a move on to the next thing kind of scenario? The Locusts are going to launch up in the skies once again. They're going to make their move out to the bottom. Comes down. The Lurk is going to take some big hits. Mortal's taking some shots as well. Queen going to drop a transfusion in. Locust going to hit the Nexus on the right side. 2 more Tempers coming up, +2 air weapons coming through. Again, ShoWTimE losing that 4th is going to be one of his biggest challenges here as he struggles to get down these ramps as well. He's being pinned up the high ground by Rogue. It's very well played because if Rogue lets him come down to the low ground again, ShoWTimE can probably take a fight to wipe that army. So it's definitely a big deal as Mortals are going to fire up again. A couple of those Lurkers beginning to drop. Storm's coming down. Prism up on the top side, going to try and move around a little bit as well. Let's see, it's still chilling. And Locust will step up, moving forward a little bit. Tempest's going to fire a couple of shots off. Going to jump down onto this Nexus. These Locusts, as they come through, Nexus gets killed. Archon is going to get grabbed. The Tempest continue to get fired upon. Locust pulling back. The Overseers as well. Mortals gathering in the center from ShoWTimE. Just going to keep firing through. We do see the Viper getting chased out of there. A couple of drones will go down. Hatcher on the right side going to go down as well. So he's going to set up in the skies. We are going to see the Lurkers going to step up. Cannon goes down. High Templar's getting deleted. Oh, that's sad. I mean, ShoWTimE's going to leave a few units across the map to continue through. Obviously feels the need to defend this left side base, and he will do just that. It's the Immortals he's left over here. They're doing okay against the Hydras, but obviously against the Locusts they're going to have a bad time. ShoWTimE is going to realize it, though. He can step away and just walk those Immortals out. Should be able to save the rest of these and at least make another attempt on that hatchery. If you could get rid of that hatchery, that would be absolutely huge for him. Tempest come fighting back up. The Locusts are going to expire. Tempest firing, Lurkers and so getting chased away. A couple of Immortals coming up. Our Corruptors continue through. Them Swarm Hosts obviously have been pretty darn good. Being able to stay around this whole time. The more effectiveness you get, the better off you're going to be. Unfortunately, they're going to walk into this army, and ShoWTimE will capitalize as he's actually going to be having to fight this as well. Enough Archons just splash those Locusts down, and oh, I love it. Actually popped the cloaking, so the Locusts had nothing to drop down onto. So yeah, that's a completely wasted set of Locust usage, and now you're already in an aggressive position on the map. That means ShoWTimE can keep pushing forward, and he will do exactly that. A couple shots up in the sky going towards those Corruptors. Now the High Templars getting some feedbacks, getting some storms. Corruptors keep on being pushed away at the moment. As ShoWTimE steps up to the top. Here inside Delta looking to equalize the series if he can find a win. The Lurkers are going to burrow. That's going to make it a challenge, but I like the position ShoWTimE put himself in there. Gave himself a huge opportunity, if nothing else. Archon's going to fight. Corruptors are going to be getting hit at. It's going to be seeing the Overseers flying overhead are all going to go down, which is kind of a funny one. ShoWTimE's going to turn onto this. The Lurkers have all dropped, and Rogue is going to get wiped. Impressive game from ShoWTimE. It ain't easy to keep you cool and keep your nerve against that consistent Lurker Swarm Host pressure. And if someone to be in a game like that in PvZ, I actually think ShoWTimE would be one of my top picks because he's so good at controlling and figuring out games in that regard. So I was happy to see that kind of coming around as we have in the top left. Our red Protoss player here is ShoWTimE. In the bottom right, our blue Zerg is going to be Rogue. Game 3 of the best of 3. Final map. ShoWTimE probe across the map in time to play Denial on the natural hatchery, so that is going to be a factor in the very first few moments already as well. We're just going to patrol around. Drone going to come across as well. Going to see what we can do. Ourselves settling for a couple of moments. See that probe and that drone continue to move about there, so a little bit of action over in that direction. Drone is going to go and nibbling onto the probe and obviously just try and push it away as it just sits in the main base. Gonna have ourselves the drone continue to nibble, probes taking damage, shots coming about. As we have ourselves the Nexus continue to build through. Cybercore is coming up as well. And the Ling's coming up, the Queen's, the Ling speed on the way. Have our drone nibbling up a few minerals and a Stargate opening from ShoWTimE. No real surprises there. Obviously, both these games have kind of gone to the longer kind of end of things. I wonder if ShoWTimE is maybe happy to bring some more aggression himself. Maybe like a Glaives after Stargate. Could be a way for him to set up. Two Adepts going to move around. A couple of Lings are going to get jumped on. One Ling already taking damage. The Adepts would love to get rid of the second Ling as well. Actually going to commit just a double shot on that one. And now try and corner this one in. Cut the corner. Adepts going to have the shade anyway. Could argue, obviously, this is maybe the Ling drawing these Adepts out of position, but there's no Ling speed. There's nothing else going on, so ShoWTimE was absolutely fine to play the chasing game here. Rogue was just trying to keep those Lings alive. And I mean, if you got the Adepts in that bottom left corner, they're not in your base. So there is still a benefit that those Lings haven't drawn the Adepts out in that direction rather than how else it could have gone. Oracle continues up, the warp gate continues through. That warp gate is going to be finishing very shortly, in fact, as the few Lings continue up to the top side of the map. Ling's going to jump onto a building nexus, but 3 Adepts in position, so the Lings will say, nah, I'm not going to commit to that. Not worth it. First Oracle going to get a drone, going to commit for 2, losing some shields along the way and a little bit of health bar. We do have that third nexus building up from ShoWTimE as well. It's just going to get that on the way on top of everything else, bringing all of that up and online. Well, our Nexus and our Simulators continue up. The Forge coming through from ShoWTimE. Oracle about to finish. Twilight Council also on the way, so a lot of that just continues to be brought up as a couple of Queens will fire. Oracles will take some shots, getting pushed away to the sides. Let's continue through. Again, Gates, Twilight Council, and Forge all building up. Got our Nexus on the way. With 3 extra gates, yeah, let's see what ShoWTimE does off the Twilight Council initially. See what upgrade he wants to prioritize there. If he even maybe prioritizes some other further tech. He's just going to go Blink. +1 again. Has a few Adepts here early. Going to shade them into a choke point. The Oracles would love to come in and help this, but I don't know from what, I mean, from the bottom would be best, but that's obviously from the Zerg's base. That's going to end up being one of those moments where it's like, was that an okay trade? And you see the Oracles coming through. They sacrifice an Oracle as well. Make it 2. It's a little bit more of a shame, but still gets 8 drones, which is, it's okay, right? We got a few Lings there as well. It's losing the second Oracle, I really think so. Because losing one, because it kind of enabled the dive a bit further, was pretty okay. Losing the second, you're like, well, okay, now I've only got 1 Oracle for the game. That's not as good defensively. That's obviously in a lot of other danger, and especially look at this attack from Rogue that's coming up. Let Rotron finishing. He is just going to go straight into Dropper Lords. He is going to go across the map. He is going to fight the Overlord speed. The big indicator there to tell you just like, oh, he wants to get Overlord speed. Why else would you get that right now? You kind of just don't. So yeah, probably just going to be Queens in the Dropper Lords. Roachling coming, and ShoWTimE. I tell you what, he's on his way very quickly to that +1 and Blink. If he can have +1 and Blink finished for this attack, I will give him half a chance of holding it, because then at least you've got some good damage output consistently coming through. That might just be good enough in a lot of cases. Might just be good enough. Stalkers move up, the Lings will take some damage. Just have a turn around there initially. Obviously, there's the Dropper Lord coming over. Other Overlords too will look to spread creep in this scenario. Stalkers about to finish Blink. ShoWTimE is just not aware. He's got no idea what Rogue is doing, moving up in this direction. So he is completely blind and clueless. And that means he's out of position as these Lings and Queens and Ravagers and Roaches start to hit this base. Super Battery's going to get targeted down. The cannon isn't exactly going to be up for very long. I mean, the Stalkers are going to blink toward the third base and try and fight reinforcements and take some attention away. We lose 14 probes almost immediately here. This sword comes down. Again, these Stalkers will do what they can. Going to try and clean up reinforcements as they are popping as well. ShoWTimE deciding this was a better idea than pulling back home to play defense from out of position. I don't know if I would have hated these Stalkers coming home. Yeah, the other units would have taken position, but I think it would have had an okay chance of making something happen. That said, he has also killed 15 workers over here, so maybe this wasn't also bad. He's stopping a lot of the reinforcements from coming across the map as well, which is a big deal, because it means his Stalkers are continuing to make a defense at home, and he's also been able to, like I say, keep a lot of the other units from getting across the map, so the damage stops over on that other side. ShoWTimE is chasing Overlords down on the map right now. 34 to 38 workers. Wow, the commitment to the counterattack was absolutely the call in the end. As we are going to get rid of what? Every Overlord there too. Rogue is on the verge of being supply blocked. ShoWTimE is actually attacking. He believes because he's got himself the Blink, he can get out of trouble. He needs to be super sure about this, right? And there's a lot of Lings here, actually. I'm not sure if this is the right call from ShoWTimE. He blinks into the Ravagers as he's going to try and find a way out from the Lings. Like I say, he doesn't have recall because he just used it on that previous group of Stalkers as ShoWTimE. I don't think he needed to do this. He probably... It's a difficult game to judge the position of. I mean, the Lings are going to still be trading. We blink away again. A few more Lings will go down. Rogue is the one to say GG as ShoWTimE's getting too much done. Rogue is still just building pure Ling Roach Ravager, and he knows he can't kill off those Stalkers, and ShoWTimE is going to make it happen. 2-1 in the best of 3. Wow.